did. I can't apparently talk about them right now, but yes,
Okay, so not in the past
but
though. Yeah, that's
but
right.
I can still answer the question. I mean, I've barely done anything. The joke about
Mhm.
it for me growing up was, or not growing up, but was when I started acting was I ever going to work in my home state?
Really took my room tonight.
I just take what I need when I need it.
A lot of money around here. If I showed you where, you think we could work something out?
If I get you your 30, I keep the rest. I'm Dion.
Sue.
Shane, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you? I love the background.
It's still, it's
Far
Halloween
better,
still in
far
my mind.
better than mine. Yeah, it's always Halloween in my mind.
Yours is ambiguous. You don't know what's going on behind it.
Good. That's probably good for an actor, I guess. Yeah.
You're ready for auditioning too. Very that's the sort of background that you would
This
do.
is the world we live in now, is just throwing. I love that it's also wrinkled as hell and it probably should be ironed, but I'm like, nah, take me for who I am. There it
Gives
is.
it more character.
All
Okay.
all the wrinkles, wrinkles and all. Yeah.
Perfect. How are you? Where are you at in the world?
I'm in Nashville. I'm doing great. I'm in Nashville, although tomorrow I'm going into Louisiana to go to the little premiere of this movie, Dirty South, in Natchitoches, Louisiana. So I'm excited to see everybody again, and the
Uh-huh.
cast and the crew, and everybody that was involved, and all the neighbors and all the neighboring restaurants and bars. It should be a good time.
So okay, that brings me right to it. So you guys actually filmed in Louisiana on location and all that, right? This was not a different
Yeah.
town in Canada or something playing as
No,
Louisiana.
no, which is very easy to do, to be honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
and all over the Midwest and the South, and whatever has the best tax break now is always the situation.
Hmm.
But in this case, we were able to do that, and it attracted my attention from the beginning a year ago, or maybe even longer than a year ago at this point. But being from Louisiana and loving the idea of the story to begin with, loving the fact that there was this um, kind of true romance, Bonnie and Clyde love story, kind of between Sue and Dion.
Hmm.
Um, at the heart of it, enjoying that and knowing that it was also going to be taking place in this small town in northern Louisiana, which I had heard of growing up, was very well known for their being having great Cajun food and great food in general, but
There you go.
also being known for the city festival of lights during Christmas and very soon, I guess. I think it starts after Thanksgiving, but the whole
Uh-huh.
city lights up for like a month and a half
Wow.
downtown, and it's gorgeous. So all of that was an attractive thing for me right off the bat.
Yeah.
After that, it was more of knowing Dermot Mulroney was a cast and always being a big fan of his
Hmm.
and wanting to work with him. Didn't have our Sue yet, but going in and wanting to meet with Matthew Yerby, the director, and figure out who was going to be Sue. Everything else was a no brainer for me.
Yeah, he picked a good Sue. It all worked out. You guys
Yes,
have
he
good
did.
chemistry, for sure. She rocked that part too. A badass, tough. Someone that I
Yeah.
think she had so much range of emotions in this film too. I love the work Willa did.
Willa was great. Willa, and she'd tell you herself, definitely came in, towards the end of casting
Hmm.
this project, as weird as that sounds. But the reason why is because the project kept, money issues, whatever it is, trying to put, an independent together. So we finally had we finally had the money, the locations, and the time and the crew to go, but we had to go like immediately. So suddenly it was like, oh my God, who's our Sue? And I had known Willa from when she had just started and she was like a child.
Hmm.
And to seeing her grow up, and to be able to come into this film and knock it out of the park, and really lead and hold this film as her own,
Yeah.
was amazing. She brought realism to this character. You didn't have to go this edgy and dark with this story, even though I'm glad we did do that. Because there's many different levels you can make this story. But the way that
True.
we ended up telling it with the casting and with the direction, um, made it a favorite of mine. And I loved working with Willa every day. I mean, the intensity she brought to it was huge.
No question. It comes through the screen. You can feel it. So
Good,
that's
good,
always a
good.
good thing about it. It's so interesting because you're from Louisiana. Have you ever done a film in Louisiana set, or is this maybe a first in your career?
I did. I can't apparently talk about them right now, but yes,
Okay, so not in
I've
the past
but
though. Yeah, that's
but
right.
but I can still answer the question. I mean, I've barely done anything. The joke about
Mhm.
it for me growing up was, or not growing up, but was when I started acting was I ever going to work in my home state?
Mhm.
And I did do a small film in Hammond, Louisiana, and I did do a series for 3 years in northern Louisiana. So I finally was able to get a little bit of that. But this one was the first time it truly felt like I was there the whole time
Uh-huh.
in like in a heartbeat of northern Louisiana, and it was just a blast going to work every day.
I'm sure it hits different, just the roots and the familiarity and the food and
No,
everything.
look now. Yeah, exactly. Now that key is I need a film in Baton Rouge, where I'm from. If we get
Uh-huh.
a freaking project in Baton Rouge, or in a perfect world, a TV series that films actually in Baton Rouge, then everything would be perfect.
I mean, you know what? Louisiana lends itself to film in so many ways, just a landscape and
Sure.
of the state in general. I mean, it's made for horror for sure, with the marshes and everything.
Well, absolutely. But a lot of times what they like to do is drive a little bit out of that city. So even when they
Yeah.
say New Orleans, the only time it's New Orleans is if they're actually filming in the French Quarter. But otherwise, they're probably an hour away, an hour and a half away in some small town that no one's ever heard of. And it's not quite the same.
hmm does it still even like, doing this film, does it bring you back? I mean, you mentioned your roots, you've been out of Louisiana, you've been kind of all over the country and world, acting throughout your career, but going back after all these years, does it really kind of you back? Are you a Louisiana boy at heart in that way? And a movie like this, filming that, does that even bring that up even more, the pride and everything?
Absolutely. I mean, I am a one of the cool things we have in Louisiana. Like, I'm a big sports fan,
Okay.
and
Who are your
I'm
teams?
I'm
I'm
a New Orleans.
guess Saints, LSU, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And but one of the things that we actually have in Louisiana, which is a little bit different than a lot of other southern and midwestern or states in general, is we don't have a natural rivalry, an in-state rivalry. So what I
hmm
think what that means is we kind of inherently root for each other. So when Tulane last year beat USC in the Super Bowl, and whatever bowl they were in, I can't remember what
Yeah.
the name it was. We were all jumping up and down for Tulane. Natchitoches has Northwestern State. I root for them. You root for Lafayette. You root for ULM, Louisiana Tech, and Ruston, Louisiana. You just kind of, even the smaller ones like McNeese and Nichols State. You root for each, as I gave everyone so many shout outs, but you root for everyone in the state. You just always want them to kind of win, and you look out for them. So you don't actually have that like Ole
And you,
Miss, Mississippi State rivalry, Alabama,
yeah,
Auburn, kind of, that kind of thing. So it makes it a little more, I think it makes it kind of more unique and a little bit
yeah,
more uh,
united, in
in-state
that way.
love and united. Exactly.
This is perfect timing because my embarrassing Chicago Bears are going to New Orleans this weekend to take on your Saints. So a
Well,
scouting
look,
report.
I mean, we're not all excited about our New Orleans Saints right now. So
I don't
if
get it.
we
I saw
hadn't,
them on Thursday night, Shane, and like I literally picked them to go to the Super Bowl at the start of the year. I thought Derek Carr would completely transform that team.
oh well, it's very nice of you to think that. I predicted winning the division, going to the playoffs, but depending on who we had to play, who knows? But at this point, I'm sorry about the Bears, but
I'm used to it.
our division is the worst in football, and I'm hoping this. If none of these teams don't turn it around, I'm hoping this year will be the first year that they change the rules. It shouldn't be a rule that every person in every division should go. The better
Totally.
teams should go.
Record
And
wise. Yep.
honestly, as it currently stands, the Falcons, Panthers, Buccaneers, and the Saints do not deserve to go. So hopefully, one of them turns it around and makes it better in the end. But the Bears, I don't know. maybe you got to go quarterback in the first round.
I think so too. I think Caleb Williams sounds really good right now.
I think people are clamoring for the Caleb. Exactly.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited to see the game. I'm kind of rooting for the Saints. I've been always a Derek Carr fan. I follow the team. I think they have a really solid defense there in that quarterback. And you know, you got some offensive firepower. I think they'll turn around. I think that's one team that's going to really turn around and run away with that division at the end. So I think you're in a good spot.
I hope so. Yours, your lips to God ears.
Hey, this was so much fun been a long time fan of yours and followed your career. And it's cool you're doing a lot of work. You know, you've been doing this felt like home, you know, watching this, knowing kind of in the back of my mind you're from here. It was really well put together and it's a fun thrill ride. So keep on doing the good work.
Good, man. Thank you. I love hearing that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's catch up on a next one hopefully soon.
Yes, I'm down. I'm always around.